Hello, Kelsey. I just want to begin by stating that I loved your title, New Experiences. New Experience is definitely something that all of us teachers experience every day, and hopefully that our students experience something new every day in our classroom. One of the statements that really stuck out with me was right here you stated the purpose for your teaching assignment was, my purpose here was to get them writing. I didn't care what they wrote about, I just wanted them to write. I thought that was perfect because that is one of our objectives for the writing workshop is to get our students writing. I also like how you put on there. Plus, if they actually have the choice to write about something, then they're going to actually care about what they're writing because they picked it. I remember reading this in Ray's book, saying that we should give our students options to choose what they want to write about because that helps them kind of take ownership of their own writing. And if they're writing about something that they enjoy, then they may try to put forth more effort into it too. Let's see, in your author's agenda, was it enough of a narrative? Are there things that could change to make it more of a narrative? I felt like it was a good narrative because you gave us background experience of what you were doing. Right here, you were speaking about how you don't have experience in a classroom yet, or you don't have your own classroom yet, so you had to borrow someone else's, which I'm glad you were able to do that because I think it is a little bit different when you're not working with these students every single day. So I think we have to put a little bit more work into it and a little bit more planning. Let's see. Are there things I could change to make it more of a narrative? I think you did a good job with adding, let's see, adding some narration, especially in this paragraph right here. You had some, right here you showed where you were just speaking with a whole class, but then right here in this paragraph, you kind of went in and wrote about your experience with an individual student. Let's see. What could I add to make it more interesting or exciting? I think when I was reading this, in this paragraph right here, I wasn't listening for what students had written, how they were presenting it. I was listening for the questions or comments that their group members were making. I think it would have been interesting for you to have written some narration about what some of the students were talking about during their collaboration. Which I'm glad that you did let them do that here when you explained that you let them get into small groups, because I think collaborating with students really helps them help each other because they have more pride in actually presenting their information to others, knowing that their peers or teachers are going to be reading it, or they're going to have to read it in front of their peers. I think they really put more effort into it, and knowing that someone else is actually going to read it and it's going to be published. Let's see. I took some notes here on your paper. I do have a question. Right here when you stated, so the students continue to write, goof off, get back on task, ask questions, and write some more. Since this wasn't your classroom and they were experiencing something a little bit different out of the norm, was it hard for you to keep the students on task, especially since right here you stated that you allowed the students to sit anywhere they want in order to write? Let's see. So you allow them to sit anywhere they like. So it's a little bit, out of the norm. I was wondering if maybe it was a little bit harder to get them to focus once they did find their area of interest, or maybe if they chose to sit next to a friend and they normally were not allowed to. That was something else I wanted to know about. In the appendix, I noticed that you wrote down your the standards that you associated your teaching lesson with, which was good. I did see where you, with guidance and support from peers and adults, develop and strengthen as needed. I think that goes with you working with that individual child, and then also letting the students collaborate with each other. And that was really, really strong in your paper and in your writing assignments. Was it too much of just explaining what I did? You did explain what you did, the steps that you took, which I think is necessary for us to understand what you were doing. But I think you did a fine job because you also included narration here and here, but then you did continue to close off and conclude what happened after the students did the writing. Overall, good work. Thanks, Kelsey.